introduce.
Now, this is what you're going to see. See. Yes.
I need to look dashing.
Yeah, Dr. Obegadebayo's. Yeah, it's straight. Pastor, please put on your camera. I talk. Hello. Let me pause recording now.
Hopefully. So recording has started now, and yes, my name is Dr. Ogundiya, Ni Ajishafe, and welcome to today's edition of OAUMED Talks. It's good to have all of you on board. Like I said, my name is Dr. Ogundiya, Ni Ajishafe. I'm a general practitioner, and I'm a partner in one of the practices somewhere south of England, in a very small island somewhere in the south of England. Today, we will be on this edition of OAUMED Talks. Like we all know, OAUMED Talks is about getting doctors who have been there and done that, bringing you back on the scene so that we can help to carry along and support upcoming doctors. And I love that adage that says it's more or less a way of putting the future doctors, I think something about putting the future doctors on, sorry, just admitting someone here, putting the future doctors on our shoulders so that they can look into the future from like the safety netting of our shoulders, so they have an idea of what's to come, which is absolutely brilliant. Today, we will be talking about creating your own niche. And we all know it's almost like we're all very conversant with that sort of saying. You talk about niche, niche, niche. What is my niche? This is my own sort of thing, and this is my niche. And you get so many sort of talks, you get so many write-ups online, you get so many trainings online which talk about how to find your niche, how to create yours, or how to work within your niche and all. So we have Dr. Emmanuel Benga Adebayo today, who will be talking to us on creating your own niche. And if I introduce him so Emmanuel Benga Adebayo, also named Ega, is someone I've known since Ife days, quite close. He is that very remarkable gentleman who believes in getting on with things. He is the sort that would get into your head. He would scramble around to see what you're thinking, and then he would get at you. Come on, why can't you do this? You can do this, go for this. And so I think he's been sort of a coach right since the time he was in med school. And presently, he's found his own niche in that sense. He's presently the CEO of Living a Health International, which is a sort of wellness solution company that deals with individuals, deals with public and government corporations, and it's sort of helping people to realize things and move forward. So he's also the he is the creator and main host of Area Doctor. I think most of you would have come across that, which is a talk show. I think the first Nigerian talk show really that deals, that talks in pidgin and tries to reach to the masses, the uneducated masses, so to say, which is extremely important in our times these days. So he will be talking to us. He definitely graduated from Ife. He did a master's in public health in University of Hebrew. in Israel, where he graduated magna cum laude. So I will be inviting him on to take over the show. So I'd like us all to welcome Dr. Gbenga Adebayo, aka Dr. Ega. Thank you very much.
Thank you. As we call out those, we call her Yifik. I hope I can call you Yifik. Thank you for, and I want to say thank you to the brains behind this program. Thank you for this opportunity. And I believe that I've been here a few times, been here for where we were doing, not a couple of times, just popping, listen. I was here for Dr. Demis telling us how to make money. And it's a great thing. I hope all of us will make more money as the days and the years go by. So I want to say thank you. I'm happy to be here. We are here to talk about creating your niche. I think the way I go about this is first to just tell you a little bit about myself, tell you my story, and how I'm creating my niche. I don't think I can say fully well I've created my niche yet. I think I'm carving out something, and I look forward in the years to come to make that thing bigger and better. So how did I get into medicine? So actually, when we entered IFE, I wasn't admitted for medicine ab initio. I wanted to be a doctor. I applied to do medicine, but my admission letter came miraculously. I can't go into that story. And I was given animal science. I was told to come and study animal science. Okay, so rather than staying at home for 1 year, I said, okay, I'll go to animal science, take another jam. I didn't even know I could switch by the time I was going, but when I got to school, I thought, okay, you can switch, do very well this year, and next year you can switch to you can switch from animal science to medicine. So I said, okay, I'm going to do well. Fresh boy from secondary school, and I was wondering, thinking it was just going to be like the same thing as secondary school. Secondary school, I never really read. I didn't think it was important to really study hard. But when I got to IFE, first few nights, one guy looked at me and said to me, Edgar, I said, yeah. He said, on this campus, before you fail, you will read. And I looked at him, if I fail, I will read. Then what am I going to do if I want to pass? What's going to be? And then that struck a lot of fear in me, and a lot of crazy things went wrong. First test got 4 over 20, next test 4 over 20. Yes, I've entered Huala, but somehow I discovered myself better, got better, and I just made enough, grade was high enough, and I went to part 1 medicine. So I started reading, trying to catch up and become a good doctor, but something strange happened while we were early in part 2. We started reading, just trying to read lower limbs. I know we start with lower limbs. Everybody here remember how we started with lower limbs. That you spend 2-3 months studying lower limbs, and then they will finish upper limbs in 2 weeks. So I can remember the first time I was trying to read lower limbs, and I was trying to say, okay, let's read it out. There's nothing. We encourage ourselves. We will do it well. And I was struggling to remember after reading for hours, days. Then I was just looking, what have I even read? I was now struggling to remember the name of the muscle of the thigh. I said, what's the name? What's the name? God, I just started thinking to myself, have I not entered trouble? So if I cannot remember the name of the muscle, how am I going to remember the innervation? How am I going to remember the insertion? And I was afraid for myself. But here we are today, many years after, and I'm grateful to God. So I don't know what somebody is passing through. And everybody here, obviously, you are in clinical, so if you are a student. So if you're a student and you are here, can you please just drop something in the chat and let me know what class you are in? I don't want to know, but I've seen it seems a lot of people that are here are my own classmates from what I've seen. But I want to know if we have people here that are students, you are current students of OAU and whatever class you are in. Can you just drop it in the chat? Let me know what you, okay. I think somebody just dropped a chat. Final year, fantastic, Emmanuel, great. Anybody else? Yeah, final year, anybody else a student? Or those of us that are PhD, or those of us that are consultants, consultant teacher. I love people here, I'm invited. I love people here and consultant. I love them, my classmates and teachers. Final year, anybody else a student? Anybody else? Only Emmanuel that is a student, right? Anybody else? Okay. Great, consultant student. All right, great, thank you. So I want to encourage, and the students also, I think we're going to share this on social media later, and people are going to final year. Adi Shegun, thank you. Shegun, Adegun Shegun, thank you. I want you to know, for you to be in final year, you will succeed. You are going to be a doctor. Once you are in clinical, one clinical too. And I want you to know that it doesn't matter how you got here. What's going to be important is what you do after now and how quickly you do it. Preparing for this, even before now, I can remember that I was speaking to somebody some weeks ago. I went somewhere to worship, to fellowship, and I saw her. I can remember, and I just flashed back 20 years ago. While she was in med school, she repeated part 2, and it looked like it was going to be the end of the world. In fact, a lot of our classmates that are here, you will not know that some of them now that are associate professors, some of them that are these, even the people that are the FICOs now, not the people that are the consultants now, so many of them had one receipt or the other in Ife. So many of them, now you may not know, but by the time we had our matric numbers on those days when they pasted, we have people that their matric numbers were 92, 90, 9 days. But all those things now are history. This, my friend, that repeated, that looked like the world was going to end. She's now a consultant nephrologist. And I looked at her and I said, wow, praise God. When we were talking together, when I was speaking with her 20 years ago, and she was crying and she was weeping, and it looked like Ife was going to swallow her up. All that now is history. I bet no matric number. I can still remember my matric number. My matric number was 9506. Let me not say the last one. But I still remember it's burnt in my head. Burnt in my head. And all those years of wondering, people ask me, I remember a man, because Ife was so funny, because we spent so long in school. In fact, there was a man that was always asking me in church then. He said, what class are you in now? I can remember when I entered part 4. I entered part 4, and I was in part 4 for 3 years. I never failed, I never received, all through God was faithful. I never had a receipt, never had anything. So when I kept telling the man, so what class are you in now? I was in part 4. So what class are you in now? You see me maybe 7 months after. What class are you in now? I said, I'm in part 4. See me another 6 months after. What class are you in now? You see, I'm in part 4. The man would just look at me. Are you sure you are in school? But all that is history. All that is history. You can create a niche for yourself. I haven't spent so long in med school, so I spent 10 years. I spent 10 years, from when I entered 95, between 2005. 10 solid years. Sometimes that becomes a problem when you send your transcript to some schools to say you want to do something. How come you? What happened to you? But after graduating, I started wondering, God, time has gone. What do you want me to do? How am I going to do it? I love clinical medicine. I enjoy the investigative nature of clinical medicine. It's for me, it's fun. And I was good at it. I especially when I went to do my house job. I did my house job in a place where I was the doctor in charge. I wasn't going to chase results. I was treating people. I did my job in State Specialist Hospital, Akure. The pay was not as much as the guys that were in OAU, but the work. But there was a time in Akure where I was the doctor on call consistently for 6 weeks in pediatrics. I'm the one that will see a patient, treat the patient, and discharge the patient. The consultant, the MO may just come briefly and say, but I was the one in charge. Run clinics all by myself, see 100 patients in one day all by myself. And that's exhilarating of you. And of course, pediatrics, funny you mentioned pediatrics. Pediatrics also, those kids, when you see bad kids, they die. And when you see kids who are really bad, you get the scalp, get the vein, and then they come alive. So I enjoyed it. But while in the middle of house job, an experience changed my trajectory. That clinical medicine, you deal with one person, but I could deal with people en masse if I went into health promotion. So I decided, okay, and based on other things that my giftings, while I was a student pastor, like Sheya said earlier, Dr. Gideon said earlier, related with people, coaching naturally comes to me. So I just said, okay, let me go to the public side of medicine. Let me go to the public health. Although while in school, we used to make fun of people in community health. We call it Komuobe. I don't know whether they still call it that. We used to call it that in school. You guys still call it Komuobe. But it was not Obe. By the time we did our final exam, sorry, when you say, for those who know Yoruba, Obe is soup. We say it was simple. Nobody takes community health serious. But the final exam of community health, they changed the script. They flipped the script. And some people have not forgotten. They've not forgotten or they've not forgiven the person that flipped the script. And then people had receipts unthinkable in community health. But it was after I left school. when you were very good people. So they flipped the script because it used to be very simple. You didn't have to really study, but they flipped the script and it became a serious thing. But while in school, strangely enough, in school, we did community health more than any other course because we started doing community health in part 2. We started doing one thing or the other about community behavioral sciences, biostatistics, and then you do it from part 2, you do it in part 3, in clinical 1, you do it. The only time we don't do community health is maybe year 5, where we have other, but year 6 again, you do something about community. So we just take it like, wasn't sure, but it was while I was in my house job, and I looked at it, I think I can do better in this way. I can treat one person for typhoid enteritis, but if I teach people, I can prevent it. I can prevent it at a community wholesale. And my gifting is I love to teach. I enjoy teaching. So I just jumped into the deep end. If I were, I shouldn't have done it. I think I was crazy a little bit. After I finished my NYSC, I just started a company immediately. I just did my house job, Akure, did my service in military hospital, Ikoyi. While doing military hospital, registered a company, just started. No office, nothing, just started doing screening programs. It was tough. It was tough. I think I should have been, it was really, really tough. Just innovating products here and there, speaking here and there. But the funny, strange thing that happened was that public health and public health innovations, maybe I didn't approach it well, but there was another thing that I was very good at, which was management consulting. So for a long time, for almost 10 years after graduation, I made more money from management consulting than from public health medicine. I was just training people on entrepreneurship, training people on soft skills. I became a trainer for an amnesty program. It was during the course of training that amnesty program that I discovered that for most people, they invited one guy to come and speak to them on safety, first aid. And then the guy came and started talking. We as doctors, we like to, we think our big words, or our health workers, we think our big words make a difference. And the guy was talking, when you do this, you have malaria, do this. One guy just, and those guys are not very okay people sometimes. One guy just got up in the middle of that guy's presentation and just started shouting, "Okay, break down that English now." All of them just lifted over their hands, really greet in that place. When you want to greet somebody, so you don't say shake. Or they say shake. That guy did not get himself again till he left that place. Meanwhile, I was teaching them business principles, marketing, entrepreneurship, how to start your business, how to deal with difficult people, financing and accounting. And I was doing it in Pidgin. And I realized you could also do this same thing in communicate health, because health education, health literacy is everything. I think it's important. It's the foundation of health. So that's how we started Area Doctor. That's how I moved to media. And then I started doing a lot of media work, doing videos, doing documentaries. Right now we have a YouTube channel called Living Health TV. And then we create content. And then I'm into adolescent health. So I started practicing public health went to do after a while doing all those things, and I did a MOOC course. I did a MOOC course on what's this online university, not the other one, not edu something. The name just ran off my head now. So I did a MOOC course there with edX. Yes. My YouTube channel is Living Health TV. So everybody now subscribe. If you don't subscribe, I'll stop this teaching. Now. We'll just scatter everything. We'll scatter everything. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's Living Health TV. Living Health TV. One word. You see, we have tons and tons of content, and we have documentaries. Yes, Living Health TV. Thank you so much, OAUMED Thoughts, for putting out there. So just go to youtube.com/Living Health TV. You find out there. So I did a MOOC course, and I discovered that a lot of what I thought was public health that I knew, I didn't know it. I really didn't know much about public health. The only thing, so I said, okay, I applied to a school in Israel. I applied for Chevron scholarship. I applied to a school in Israel. Told one of us to try to write me a test. It didn't write. I got other people to write me my reference, and I just put in, I told all that I've done, and said, okay, please give me a scholarship. I want to come to Israel. And they gave me a scholarship. And let me tell you this, one of the mistakes, I didn't do this early enough, but I just discovered that I was getting old. And I said I was going to do a scholarship. Before I knew it, we're approaching 40 and we have not done anything. Like, okay. I need to get this thing done now. So by the time I went to do this, my master's of public health in Israel, I was one of the old people in class. And strangely, I was afraid. I was afraid that when we get there, because, mathematics has never been a strong point. It may not be my strong point, but most of us in medicine, I think there are few people in medicine that are very strong in calculation. I was afraid of statistics, about statistics, going there to Israel. And because I was told that statistics, somebody that graduated there, and the former OU, one of my guys graduated from there, said, no, that the statistics there, that's more so. God, how am I going to cope with this thing? It was when I went to that school, thank God that if you are in Ife, all of you that are students now, you're in Ife, you can thrive anywhere. You will. I didn't know that it was possible to get 98/100. Ife has spoiled also. Now you think the highest score anybody can get in anything is 62. If you get 62, you have tried. If you get 70, God, you are one of those few ways that always read. Now, I don't. Even the statistic that I was afraid for, the guy started from basics, counting, how to count, what to do. I thought I knew what probability was. Many people don't understand what probability means. When you say they broke it down, and I graduated. And the funny thing was that I didn't read as much as I read in Ife. I did not read for my master's as much as I read in med school in Ife. And when I said that to them, all of them were saying this thing is hard, because in that place I could cook. We will go for tours. We will go and tour everywhere. We will play. We will do party. And I was saying, God, I think God is part of. I would think all of it is also tied to grace. I believe grace. God was present, and I graduated with distinction. It was amazing. And I finished from there. I'm using all those things. All those things. Now I'm using them to work. I understand research better. This year, I hope to publish. So we are talking about your niche. I've told you, and I'm still creating my niche. Now I'm being known in this. I've done work for Guttmacher Institute. I've done work for IPAS. I've done work for media and communication work, telling people how to know social media. Even the school that I graduated from, I manage their social media feed. So I'm more in tune now with media communication, doing a little bit of research, doing a little of public health, trying to also still do my management consulting, not doing much of it. And Corona has not helped management consulting for a while. But that's the niche I'm creating for myself. Now, there are times I just wonder, Uncle, because when you see friends, like I said, you see some people, they've done awesome things. You see some of our friends, they are UK, they're in US, they are all over the place. So sometimes I just sit down. My wife will say, Uncle, what are we? But I think I am creating a niche for myself that I'm happy with. I want to say to everyone here that's a final year student, or even those of us that are not final year student, it is not too late to create your niche. Especially as we are physicians. The field is so wide in coding, in medical education, medical illustration, whatever it is that you want to do, Start early. That's what I'm going to say to you. One of the things I regret was that I did not do my master's on time. But I think I'm grateful to God that I still have it done, because now thinking of going to do a PhD is a little bit, and that's what I want to say to you. You see, if I had to choose now between doing a PhD and doing a fellowship, I'll do a PhD. You see, the problem with fellowships now, I'm not discouraging anybody. I just want you to make up your mind. Start early, choose it early. If you can do a PhD, a master's, really do a master, get a PhD along with your fellowship program, please go ahead and do it. Do you know what? Especially those that want to work in international development, your PhD is recognized all over the world. Just like certifications are recognized all over the world. Your fellowship is in West Africa or national, right? But whatever it is you want to do it early. I have friends here. We have some people, like I said, when they were in medical school, they were the people that were not the FPCOs. But I have one of them now, is a surgeon in demand all over Lagos. So don't be confused. All those people that you are looking at in class, they are the ones, they are the ones the lecturers like. All those things are not, they don't determine. In fact, there's somebody that he was political in our class. He repeated several times, repeated. Today, he's a consultant. He's a consultant and he's also still a politician, still doing his things. So don't think maybe your difficult few years in medicine, your difficult clinical year or your difficult clinical year, don't make it a prison. Sit down, ask yourself, what are my gifts? In 20 years, what do I want to be? One of the reasons why I left clinical medicine was I look at almost all our consultants, look at their struggles, look at this, and I say, in 20 years' time, do I want to be complaining like this man is always complaining at word round? And then I will now go to this thing, and then someone will tell you, my chief. How long am I going to do my chief? After spending 10 years, I just said, okay, I'm going to entrepreneurship. Sharp. If you want to travel out quickly. Don't waste time. Don't go and be going up. If you want to travel, quickly start to do your club. Go whatever it is. And if you have not done it, even though I don't know if some of our classmates, if you are doing what you are doing and you are not enjoying it, it's never too late to change course. We had people that left. Some of our lecturers left. They were consultants and they left because they were not having satisfaction. They did not feel that they were doing something worth doing. And they transported. We had one of our lecturers, very brilliant man. The man, he was one of the first people that we went under. I won't mention his name, but I'll just mention his field, orthopedics. He made me nearly want to be an orthopedic. As a medical student, every posting, especially in year one, every clinical one, every posting that you do, you love the posting, you want to become it. He made me love orthopedics. But when this man saw it was not this thing, he has left. But I think if you leave early and you start early, it's better. But it is never too late to start. And medicine gives us the brain of a doctor. What medicine does for us is not to make us to know everything. Medicine shapes our brain to be able to take in a lot of information quickly and to ask questions. To ask questions, why is this so? How can I do this? So any field you want to get to, we have classmates today that are in finance, doing fantastically well in finance. We have some of them in crypto. If you want to become a cement seller, go and sell your cement. Although that's a shame. That would be a loss to Nigeria. And Nigeria has trained us so cheaply. We are becoming physicians, and we are not doing something to add back to the health of the nation. I think that would be a shame. So I will encourage that. But the medical field is wide. It's wider beyond clinical medicine. Don't pigeonhole yourself. Think wide. Think wide. The medicine is going to change. Telemedicine is going to become something. The people that are doing telemedicine at an entrepreneurship level now, they are not doctors, and they are getting funding. They are getting funding of millions of dollars. And we doctors are struggling and saying, no, they have not paid our hazard allowance. It's 5,000. The HMOs, the people, the health maintenance organizations, the person leading one of the biggest health maintenance organizations in Nigeria is not a physician. Yeah, I think he's in tech. He did something in tech, and he leads one of the biggest health maintenance organizations in Africa, right? So think, open your mind wide, look very quickly, move fast. If you want to go to health management is going to become a big field. Geriatrics is going to become a big field if you are looking to specialize. So do a master's, do a PhD, do a fellowship. Health and law is going to, thank you, I'm rounding up. Health and law is going to, that's one of the things I wanted to do. I wanted to start to sue doctors, you know what? I think that would have had a lot of enemies suing physicians. But whatever it is you want to do, make up your mind quickly and start it early. Forget all the troubles that you may have had in med school. It's possible that you will sit. And it's not possible in this final year that this, God forbid, something may happen. But forget that. If it's ministry also, you want to become a chief imam, you want to become a chief pastor, go and do it. But do it with all your passion. And I don't know anybody who are watching this, you have spent 20 years doing something. You are not happy doing it. Please, decusate. I still remember that word, in the basin. When you decusate from the right to the left, please just decusate. Move. It is not too late to start. It doesn't matter whether you have 50, whether you have 40, you can start. You can do something new and make something great with your life. I think I've taken enough time. I've spoken. I've thrown a lot of things on the board. And so now in question and answers, I think we'll be able to answer specific questions and help people. Yes, satisfaction is key. Satisfaction is key. So let's have questions. I think Emmanuel said, yes, I'll be happy to mentor. I'll be happy to anybody. I'll be happy to talk to you on anything. But I think the procedure from the administrators of this platform was that we should go through. So please go through, reach out to them, reach out to, can we please just drop the email there, send the email there. Yes, please. So send email to OAUMED5@gmail.com. If you don't want us to drop personal details online, they will share my details with you. Anybody, I'll be happy to talk to you. I'll also be happy to offer you internship. If you need internship, you want to work somewhere, you want to see what we do, how we do, we may not pay you very, we'll pay you as much as you bring to the table, or you pay you something at least to help you cover costs. But internships usually are not paid, but we'll pay you something, right? So up to internship, you want to come, you're interested in media, you're interested in research, public health research, you want to understand it a little bit better, we are happy to offer you information. All right, questions, please. So drop your questions. If you want to ask, you can lift up your hands, raise your hands. The admin will allow you to ask questions, or you can drop it in the chat and we'll take them as they come in.
Thank you very much, Dr. Adebayo. So, like he said, would wait for any questions that might come in, anything specifically that you'd like to ask Dr. Edgar. Please drop them in. Or if you want it quite private and you want it going directly to him instead of being in the general box, then you can send it to that email, which has been put there, and that will be attended to by the admin. Okay, no questions yet, anybody? Whilst everyone's thinking of anything they'd like to say.
Somebody has asked a question.
Oh,
said, share with, someone said, the person sent to me directly, he said, please share with us current opportunities and how it can be harnessed. There are tons and tons and tons of opportunities available in the media and health landscape. if we are talking about, somebody did, and he can color and this, and then he looked at his medical textbooks, and he saw that if you look at I can remember even Kitmore, a lot of us blushed the first time we opened Kitmore, and we saw that naked, white, some of those that are prudish, and so we saw that naked woman, say, God Almighty, is he a naked woman inside textbook like this? But it was a white lady. So he looked at most of his medical textbooks, and he saw that they were all white folks. So he colored a black guy, and then sent it out, and people are interested that this is fine. This is nowhere in the woke world now. Everybody so, and that's something it's branching into medical illustrations, right? And there are internships, scholarships are there. I couldn't have afforded to be able to go for my master's in public health if I had to pay for it. It's $30,000. Where will I get $30,000 from at that time? Maybe now, by the grace of God, I think with Muiwa that is saying that he wants to do internships, working with Muiwa, I can get $13,000 cheaply because they are the ones that are in health finance. They can just give us $30,000. But that's $30,000. And that's just for the fees, not to talk about the trips and all the things. But it's free. Yeah, there are so many things available like that. Coding is there. And there are tons and tons of things. There's something, this Perry guy, there's an internship program, global health program that he does for people. So just read around, talk to people, know people that you feel. There are so many opportunities that you can key into. A lot of all these, unfortunately, because of my forthright brain, I avoided not-for-profit work after med school. I just am going to establish a company. But not-for-profit work is profitable. But of course, we can do it with ethics. We do it with the right ethics because I think we should do it with the right ethics. But there are a lot of unethical things that goes on in non-profit work. But the people driving and moving the funds and doing the work in non-profit work, a lot of them don't have medical education training. You can do it better if you have the right insight, know the right things that you need to do, and you do it. Doctors, media, and misinformation. Doctors, unfortunately, one of the things I hope to do is that I think communication needs to be part of what all doctors should be trained to do. Unfortunately, we are not trained. We don't know how to communicate, which is why doctors have a bad reputation. Even when they go on strike for the right reasons. I think a story comes to mind about when the police shot somebody. The person died. And then the person did not, whether the person died or did not die, they now took the person to the hospital. It was the doctors now that they said did not treat on time. They were not treating, that now took the blame, whereas the police that shot the person were not looking like superstars because the police PRO communicated well. I can remember at the inquiry they were doing for that program, the senator that was there was just using the doctor to catch trips because the doctors could not communicate. They did not know how to approach. They write, you write a PR, a press release, a press release, and you're writing it like you're writing to physicians. The patient presented ab initio, apparently was apparently well. The breathing, no, who cares about that? You are communicating to the public. The way you communicate to the public is different from the way you communicate to your colleagues. And that's why you see a doctor, they invite a doctor writing case notes. They invite a doctor to a TV show, and the doctor is talking about Beckwith-Wetterman syndrome. What are the differentials of hypoglycemia? Is when the patient had Beckwith-Wetterman, and what are the things that we see? We see hyperglossia, we see who cares about all that? We are not taught to communicate well. Teach yourself to communicate well. I made money from communication, from talking. But people pay me to talk. I've gone to speak somewhere before. I spoke for 1 hour, and I'm talking about many years back now. Maybe I spoke for 1 hour, and I will earn 6 figures. I will earn some of the salary that I earned for 6 months as an house officer. I will earn it in 1 hour from speaking, from talking. Does it happen every day? No. But communication, so learn how to use media, disinformation. Look at this guy that calls himself a doctor now. Do you know how much money that guy is doing? How much influence, beyond money now, influence and impact that guy is also making by making correct use of media, right? Opportunities are there. Train yourself, build yourself up, and you'll be amazed at what you can do, right? I don't know on any other question. Let's see.
Thank you. There are two questions pending here. One says, what gave you the boldness to launch out into an uncharted field straight out of NYSC?
I think I was mad now. I think I was not well. I think it was faith. It was just faith. It was faith. I said to myself that if I go and do something for a while and I don't enjoy this thing, I know ultimately this is what I'm still going back to. So I had a strategy that I thought I would start lean, try to do a website for us, although that all those didn't work. So I just failed forward, stumbled forward, made mistakes. And now we have an office. After so many years of not having office, you know, my brain was my office, working from home. Now we have an office. Now we have this. Now I have staff, pay salaries every month. Been doing so now for years. It's tough to pay salaries. You know, when you pay salary, your brain is correct in a different way. Because I believe you must never owe salaries. It's ungodly not to pay people their wages. The worker is worthy of his wages. So you need to do that, right? You need to do that. Okay. Are there opportunities for medical letter and medical writing? Certainly there are opportunities for that. We don't have a lot of data. In fact, we keep saying that we don't have research. If what you can learn is how to write research papers, unfortunately, a lot of us cannot write research, which is one of the fantastic things that going for an MPH did for me. Actually, going to an MPH is one of the best schools in the world, did for me. And I saw that a lot of all the things we did, when you do that community project, a lot of what people do is rubbish, arrogant, total nonsense. Even the studies that you design, how you design your study, if you don't design it properly, you will end up, and there are a lot of free resources that you can now learn online. Even go to Khan Academy. Khan Academy is free. You can go there, learn how to do research, tons of research. There's one CDC portal that teaches people the basic things about public health research and how you can do it. You don't need to get an MPH. Having an MPH is going to be an added advantage, but you don't need to have an MPH to be able to do the things that we are talking about. And like I said, we have an internship opportunity. You can come and we can teach you. With your years of experience working in the community in a special way, I'm sure a couple of soft skills will help you. Some of those you learned on the job. From some of you coming behind, what can you learn? Number one is be open to learn. Learn. You just have to learn. And I say to people, all the doors that I've had in my life open onto me, I was not the one that opened them myself. Somebody opened them for me. So you need people. You need relationships. You need relationships. How did I know about Hebrew University of Jerusalem? It was one of the guys I pastored on campus. Pastor Edgar, you need to know about this thing on this course. I just said to him, Olaxi, I want to do master's. What can I do? Let's go to Hebrew University. I said, what is it? You did this, do this. And we applied the same year, got admission. But I thought I didn't have my transcript. If a transcript, before I knew it, I postponed it. Before I knew it, another 4 years had passed. Olaxi, tell me this thing again. How do I do it? So I applied each evening when I saw that I was almost going, don't mind my, it was when I started, it's because I don't cut when I cut this year, I look like a jam bite. So that's why I started keeping the hair. So that will not be, I just did it. Relationships, that's the key point I'm trying to say to you. Know people, relate with people. Even the management consulting that I went into, how did I get it? It was somebody that invited me, come talk. Don't make money your primary pursuit. I cannot stress that enough. If you make money your primary pursuit in life, you will never really get enough of it. Make impact. Make how much you eat, because you can make so much money and still be unhappy. You can make so much money and still be unhappy. If money is your primary goal, your primary drive, even if you're a doctor, you have your own practice, you will make your money. You have good business sense. But let it be clear that your primary motive is how you bless people, how you deliver your service, how well you do what you do. I'm good at what I do. I think so. People have said to me, I'm good at what I do. And so because I'm good at what I do, I command some value. I'm able to attract some value in the market. And I hope to attract even more value. But I think I can attract more. I've not been attracting enough. We can attract more. So people, your people skills are very important. And I want, if I look at some of those our classmates that were not very effico, but are doing greatly now, is their people skills. Their people skills and their drive to make sure that they go for excellence and they do it well. So great people skills. I hope I've answered that question a little bit well, right? Soft skills, they make a difference. They make a difference. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very, very much, Dr. Adebayo. That has been an extremely enlightening talk. I can't see any more questions, and I don't think anyone's written any private questions to Edgar at the moment. So I believe those are all the questions for now, but I think he's giving us so much and we have a lot to go and think about, even those of us who are already working. And we can all, there is no end, like Edgar has said, or Dr. Edgar has said, to still carving out your niche. So yeah, so we've got this video recorded. We've got everything recorded and you can find it on Facebook. I think someone's dropping a message on where we can find it. You can find it on Facebook, OAUMED Talks. And you can find it also on the YouTube, on our YouTube channel. And remember, we've had this lovely talk now, and I'm sure that many people would still have questions, or maybe things would crop up that you want to talk about. And some people are not very, very comfortable with probably talking or sending messages directly like this, but you can send your messages, your questions as emails, and you can find that email address just there, which is OAUMED05@gmail.com. So yes, so thank you very much, Dr. Adebayo, and thank you to all the participants. I believe we've all gained a whole lot of things from the talk today. And I think with this, we'll be bringing the whole session to a close, except if anybody has any questions or no hands up for anything, to ask anything, to mention anything we've forgotten. I think lots of thanks and claps are going to Dr. Adebayo there. So I don't think there's anything else pending. So thank you very much. It was very lovely seeing all of you, or hearing all of you, or seeing all of you on the screen. And I hope you all have a very pleasant week ahead. Take care and bye, and Happy New Year once again. Bye.